Catchy title: The City Boy's Secret and the Southern Silence. I'd been dating Sarah for 6 months when she finally invited me to her family's Sunday dinner in rural Georgia. My hands were sweating because Sarah's world revolved around her daddy's approval. "Just a heads up," she said, gripping the steering wheel. "They're old school. They speak a heavy, thick-as-molasses Southern dialect at home, and they might act like you're an alien because you're from the city." What she didn't know was that my grandfather was a tobacco farmer from the next county over. I grew up speaking that exact same country dialect, but after years in corporate law, I'd polished it away. To them, I just looked like a city slicker in a fancy watch. The moment we walked in, the air turned cold. Her father, Silas, barely looked up from his porch chair. "Nice to meet you," he said, in stiff, formal English. But the second I turned my back, he spat over the rail and whispered to Sarah's brother, "Look at this boy. Probably never seen a day of real work. Soft hands, expensive shoes. Sarah's brought home a Yankee trophy." For the next hour, I sat through a masterclass in passive aggression. They spoke to me in polite English, then switched to their thick, rapid-fire dialect to mock me right in front of my face. "He looks like he'd faint if he saw a lawnmower," the brother laughed, passing the cornbread. Silas added, "She's wasting her time on a man who won't ever understand our way of life. He's just an ornament." My jaw clenched, but I stayed quiet until Silas looked at Sarah and said, "You're being foolish, girl, dating someone who doesn't even speak our language. How can there be a future when he's just a stranger in your own home?" That crossed the line. Just then, Sarah's little nephew tripped on the rug, scraping his knee and wailing. The whole room froze, but I scooped him up and spoke in the deepest, most authentic Southern drawl they'd ever heard. Now, little man, hush that fuss. It's just a little gravel rash. We'll get you fixed up quicker than a lightning bug in a jar, just like my granddaddy used to do back in Oconee County." The silence was deafening. 15 pairs of eyes stared at me like I'd just grown a second head. Silas's face went white. I looked him dead in the eye and switched back to my city voice. "I heard everything, Silas. The comments about my hands, my shoes, and especially what you called Sarah for loving me. My name is Julian. My granddaddy was Silas Miller Sr., and I know exactly what your way of life is about." 2 days later, Silas called. "Julian, we owe you a seat at the table. Come back this Sunday. We're frying catfish." I told him, "Only if you promise to keep the conversation honest. I've got a lot of stories about Oconee you haven't heard yet."